Okay, hello, perfect. So you can hear me. So welcome everyone. Thank you, Trev, for confirming. So um I'm going to start. So what I'm gonna do, morning, Michelle. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to go over the last assets we analyzed in the previous webinars, stocks and cryptos, and then I'm going to accept suggestions from you. Okay, perfect, Trev. So I'm going to accept any suggestions from you, any stock, ETF, Forex, crypto, or anything. So this webinar is about supply, demand, and price action and how these imbalances will trump everything. And we're not talking about Mr. Trump, okay? He trumps everything he touches. But we are talking about imbalances, price action. And you know that we are the world, well, Mr. Trump and Bibi are against Iran, a war against these guys, and there is a lot of turmoil in the world with the brand, energy, stocks, the end of the world, But supply and demand doesn't care about anything, okay? So let's talk about what happens when we are in war and we have stocks and ETFs and Forex and cryptos, and and the stock market or the financial market doesn't give a shit about what is going on in the world because these guys are here to make money. I'm going to analyze TASI later, okay? Thank you for the suggestions. So I'm going to quickly go over the latest analysis that we did, okay? And all these analyses were mentioned before they happened, okay? As always, I'm not going to analyze anything saying, what would you have done if this and that? Nope, okay? So this is Tesla. Tesla is in a monthly uptrend. These imbalance in the monthly time frame took control, and as we expected, look at the reaction. Tesla has already rallied like about almost 20% since that imbalance was hit. Okay, so now when we take a look at the smaller time frames, we're going to see Tesla with a brand new level of demand right there. So if you were not long on Tesla from lower, and you're using the smaller time frames for these particular stock, then you can wait for price to drop on there and then start thinking of intraday swing stock trading of Tesla stock, because this is how price moves. After a very strong rally, we need a correction. As simple as that. Okay, so let's analyze Microsoft, because this is one of the Magnificent Seven together with Tesla. On Microsoft, what do we have? Why do we have Microsoft rallying so strongly on the daily? Look at the reaction, price action, Microsoft stock. Price rallies 1, 2, 3 candles. Now it's losing a little bit of steam. Okay, although in the pre-market we have a gap in the smaller time frames, we are expecting this. Okay, so after a very strong rally, we want a pullback. So Microsoft, why is Microsoft stock rallying for this swing stock trading position? Because we have the strong monthly demand level here in control. Look at the reaction. This is Microsoft stock. Okay, so this is good for long-term options trading. You can sell time, sell premium, buy whatever you want, buy CFDs, shares of the stock. This is swing trading on Microsoft. And this trade was mentioned when the demand level was hit and right at the top that we were expecting this. So it is happening as expected. It's moving as we wanted. On Meta platforms, as we said, the last time we were waiting for Meta platform to rally from here, and that is exactly what is happening with Meta platforms. When you go to the smaller time frames, like on the daily, we have a new demand level right down at the bottom, although it looks like we have another one here on the daily at around Meta $640. So when it gets down there, we might start looking for longs if you are not long already from lower. Okay, so why is Meta rallying? Same thing, strong imbalance in the monthly. Okay, these are like textbook trades on the bigger time frames. Okay, and everything has to do with that. Okay, so remember the last time we were talking about Alibaba, the top 10 stocks to buy. So Alibaba is got the demand level on the monthly playing out as expected. You see, very strong rally, and it takes half a year for Alibaba stock to drop down there, and this is it. Okay, this was called live the other day, and this is what's going on the daily time frame. What do we have? it's trying to drop where to the origin of the move down there. So we want, after a very strong rally, we want a pullback. This is at daily demand level too. Okay, so it could start reacting from here. So this is the bigger picture. If you ignore as a stock trader these imbalances, then you probably are doing the wrong thing. Okay, so this is Alibaba was also covered in the last analysis, and then I also share with you Walt Disney. So Walt Disney, these guys, okay, I love the movies. And we've got a monthly demand level in control on there on Walt Disney stock at around $98 per share, 8, and it's rallying as expected. What do we have in the smaller time frames? Well, a very strong rally. So now Disney wants to pull back a little bit, okay? If we take a look at the 1 hour time frame, the 1 hour time frame is super overextended. So we want to pull back. And if you are long from this setup, we've got a demand level here at around $100 per share. So it could drop down there or even lower, okay, to the origin of the reaction. But all these stocks, okay, although the market is, we have a war, well, we have two. We are forgetting about Ukraine, okay? 4 years in a war since 2022, February. And Ukraine is like still there, okay? And we have a war in Iran, but we've got about Ukraine's war, okay? So, and this is what's going on with these assets, okay? So what do we have now? When we take a look at S&P 500, which is the number one index, okay, in the US, what do we have? A nice demand level on the weekly. So after a very strong rally, we need a pullback, or in the smaller time frames, if you are more aggressive, we've got a new daily demand there, which is trying to play out, another one over here. So let's see if this one plays out or not, okay? So we've got this one over here on S&P 500, and if we take a look at NASDAQs, we also have another one, which is weak, by the way, but just playing out, another one here in the daily. Why is this rallying? Well, we've got demand levels on the bigger time frames and also on the weekly. So this is what happens on the bigger picture. So we've got the NASDAQ, S&P, the stock market, okay, printing all-time highs. As you can see, okay, it doesn't really matter. It's just breaking higher. The ETF sectors too, not all of them, but most of them. So that's what's happening. So now let me analyze TASI, okay? Because TASI is tricky, okay? TASI is tricky. This is the main index from Tadawul and Saudi Arabia. So I've been talking about this one. It's tricky because these guys from Saudi Arabia highly depends on Brent, okay, and oil. And let me ask you, Med, what is going on with Brent? Tell me, okay? So what's going on? It's dropping. Why? Because we've got Brent, okay, crude futures. This is an old, we've got here on the monthly time frame. We've been talking about this, okay? Brent, there. It has already dropped like 28% since that monthly demand level that to control was mentioned a couple of months ago, okay? So, and it's dropping as expected. You can check the previous videos and you will see what we were talking about up the top, okay? And saying, well, everybody's saying that Brent is going to reach 140, 200, whatever, exaggeration they were saying, okay? That was, I was going to say something I shouldn't say, but well, that was nonsense, okay? After a very strong rally with supply and control that was created during 2022 by the attack of Russia, Mr. Putin, to Ukraine, this is what happened, 54% drop, and the gasoline prices went like crazy instead of dropping. Okay, now the same thing happens with the war in Iran, with the 12-month demand level in control that we mentioned in previous analysis. I'm not going to go over it again. Okay, so price rallies and hits the supply level that was created during the Ukrainian war. Well, the Ukrainian war is still ongoing, okay? So price is dropping as expected, as simple as possible. This is supply and demand. There is a war in Ukraine. Everybody's saying it's going to rally. No, it drops. Why? Because there was a supply level right here on the left. So everybody's saying Brent is going to rally like hell. to infinity and beyond, like Buzz Lightyear in the movie. Okay, now it's dropping. Why? Because there's supply. I mean, it's all about that. Okay, no matter how you look at it, everything you think you know about the markets is probably not true, because we are being manipulated. And if you trust news events and newsletters and everything talking about what analyst A is saying or analyst B is saying, you are doomed to failure. Okay, so we've got a very strong supply level there. So going long is not a good idea. The demand is much lower. Okay, so the same thing happens to CL, crude oil. We've got the supply level right there. So price is dropping, is already like crude oil. It already dropped like 23%. So we go back to TASI, Tadawul A Shares Index. So we were looking at the weekly time frame. So this is Tadawul, HH asked me to analyze this one. Okay, so what do we have here? We have this. The weekly is just, as you can see, the weekly time frame. Remember, if you are from there, from Saudi Arabia or from any of these Middle Eastern countries, well, everybody knows that Saudi Arabia depends on oil. Okay, and we're lucky to have oil in their lands. And so if oil is dropping, what's going to happen with Tadawul Tasi? It's going to drop too. Okay, so but that's like a very basic correlation between Brent and Tadawul and Saudi Arabia stock market. But the weekly is just doing nothing. You know what I mean? It's like, look, low, high, lower low, higher high, lower low, high, lower low, higher high. So what is this? Okay, it's like the weekly. What does it tell me? So imagine this again. Trade Forex. Okay, US 30. I'm going to analyze this. Yes. Okay, no problem. So what happens here? Now imagine this. Okay, a woman and a man. I'm always talking about using the woman and man analogy. Okay, so you are happily married. Okay. Oh wow, this is a very exciting. And then suddenly your wife or your husband, okay, is irrelevant, cheats cheats on you, makes a low. We were very happy. Why are you printing a low? Why are you going with another man or another woman? Okay, no problem. We go back again. Oh wow, this is perfect. We are back in our happy couple. Great. And now, why did you go with another woman again? Okay, no problem. We go back again. No, why did you go with another man or woman again? No, we go back. You know what I mean? It's like this is very difficult to trade like this because the charts are cheating on you every single month or every 2 months. And you cannot have a relationship with the weekly time frame on TASI, Tadawul, all shares with the weekly doing that to you. Okay, so we need, what do we need? We need a bigger time frame because the weekly is just not enough. So we go to the monthly time frame. So what do we have on the monthly time frame? So on the monthly time frame, yeah, I hope that comment was not out of context. Okay, HHMed, but I'm just trying to make fun out of this. Okay, so what do we have here on TASI? So this is what we have on TASI. We have a supply level right here at the top and a demand level right at the top. So we have a very strong rally. Okay, why is this strong rally happening on the monthly time frame? Well, we've got Tadawul TASI and Brent rallying like crazy. Okay, from the demand level on the 12 months. We mentioned this a few months ago, this demand level right there. That's why Brent rallied. Okay, so what happens? We've got TASI doing the same thing. Why? Because if Brent crude oil futures are rallying because there's a bigger picture, regardless of the Iranian war, in control, at demand level, then TASI is rallying. But look at this. This is like cheating on the chart. I mean, we have a low here, a lower low in the monthly, another lower low, another lower low, another lower low. So it doesn't make sense to buy if you're going to buy. Okay. So, so this is like what's going on. I mean, if you ask me, what would I do with TASI? Would I trade it? No. I mean, I'm not trading this. The month is not giving me anything. The weekly, same thing. I'm just not going, okay, but I want to trade TASI, Tadawul, all shares index. I'm going to go to the daily time frame. Well, the daily time frame is dropping because the weekly is dropping too. Probably we will drop until here, until the 10,500, okay, minimum. And if we take a look at the bigger picture, this is when we're going to see what's thought of Tadawulls, okay? So what happens is that on Tadawull, we are expecting Tadawull to drop down there in probably it's going to take like a year or more, okay? So going long is not a good idea. It's like short bias, okay? So that's where supply and demand says in the bigger picture, okay? Because the smaller time frames, if you go to the one, do we want to do short term? Obviously, if we are expecting on the weekly price to drop like this, then you can go and do intraday short term on Tadawul on this index. But buying, no way, okay? That's the thing, no way. So, Michelle, you asked about gold, euro dollar. Yeah, euro dollar, I'm going to do it. Swiss franc versus the yen. Okay, I'm going to add that one. And NAS 100, that's NASDAQ. I already did NASDAQ. So we are not going to do that one. So let's take a look at the euro dollar. Okay, the euro dollar is dropping for now. Why? Because we have this supply level, okay, right there. We were talking about this one like a week ago, something like that. The euro dollar is dropping. If we go to the smaller time frames, on the daily, we can see now we've got a rally. Look, how do you call this candlestick pattern? That's a rally, and this is a shooting star. And the shooting star is price action is useless, okay? Price action, remember, is useless if there is no context and no location, nothing telling you what's going on, okay? So if we divide this chart into, I'm going to use a two charts template, okay? This is BTC. I'm going to talk about BTC later, but here what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the euro dollar again. And on the euro dollar, I'm going to use the daily. So what happens here? This is what happens. Weekly supply and control. This shooting star candlestick pattern, price action is everything, okay, is happening where? Right here. Where? At the weekly supply level. So we're expecting the euro dollar to keep on dropping. So you can use shorter term Forex entries, intraday scalping, swing trading, obviously, okay, expecting the euro dollar to keep on dropping farther, okay. So what happens in the smaller time frame, when you go to the 4-hour, you've got a supply level right at the top. You've got now new bearish price action. There is room for price to keep on dropping minimum there and then even lower. So this is the euro dollar. We have this, the number one major Forex cross pair dropping in April 2026. So we can use bearish strategies up to go short on the way down. Okay. So US 30. So let me take a look at US 30 because Trade Forex is very impatient. I am not going to forget about it, my friend. So US 30, what do we have here? We've got a new demand level on the weekly. Okay, that's the weekly time frame, long bias. On the daily, we've got another demand level right there on the daily at around 48,700. So we should be waiting for this. In the smaller time frames, the lower we go, we already have a supply level on the 1 hour. So going long right now is not a good idea. Let's take a look at the 4-hour. The 4 hours got that level here, right there. So we are waiting for price to drop down there, which is also the daily on US 30, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is the same one as this. This is the ETF. You want trading options. We've got a daily demand level right there. On the pre-market, we've got a gap of about how much? Like almost 1%. So US 30 Dow Jones is long bias, the same thing as the ETF, DIA, okay? State Street SPDR ETF. So that's what I hope that you are happy with I mean, maybe you don't like what I said, okay? Trade Forex, but this is what we are expecting, okay? This is for US 30. So the euro dollar already done. Disney, Alibaba, Meta, Microsoft, Tesla, And what do we have now? Somebody asked about the Swiss franc versus the Japanese yen Forex cross pair. We've got a weekly demand level playing out really well. Okay, so you see, it's like, look at the daily chart. It's like, what's going on here? High, low, 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 and then high, high, high. What is happening here? Well, if you don't look at the bigger picture, you are going to miss the fact, as we discussed in previous analysis, this was called live, and in video analysis a few weeks ago, this is what is going on, okay? It's rallying very, very strongly. So that played out. So when we go to the smaller time frames, on the 4-hour, we've got a demand level right there on the 4-hour. So we are waiting for the Swiss franc versus the Japanese yen to drop around this area, okay? Around this area where we can start thinking of buying this Forex in, doing intraday trading, Forex trading, or scalping, okay? So this is price action together with supply and demand. They go hand in hand. An imbalance is created by price action, and price action makes an imbalance, okay? So this is what we have on the Swiss franc, okay, versus the Japanese yen. It's happening because the Nikkei index is breaking all-time highs. So this is helping the Swiss franc, which is inversely correlated. The yen is inversely correlated to the Nikkei index. Okay. Okay, it's the facts you share. So I'm good. Okay, no problem. Perfect. So this is the Swiss franc versus the Japanese yen Forex cross pair. TASI, we already did. So let me take a look at another one that somebody said before. Swiss franc. Okay, gold. Let's take a look at gold spot. This is what we have on gold spot. Let's take a look at the bigger picture, because as we said, we are expecting gold to keep on dropping. We were talking about gold. The demand level here was eliminated as expected, so it's trying to reach that area of supply on the weekly time frame, and probably it will stop before and reach that area, and when it gets there, it's going to start reacting. That is the strongest level in a long time. Price dropped, gold price, spot gold price dropped 18% in just 4 days. Okay, so, and it's taken how many bars? It's taken 21 days to rally, more if we count the weekends. 3-4 days to drop, a month to rally. So who wins there? What wins? The bears. I mean, because if it takes a gold spot to rally like 19%, it takes almost a month, and it drops even more than that in just 4 days. It's obvious that the bears win versus the bulls. And it's happening because we are expecting a dump, huge dump. We've been talking about this, okay? This daily supply level that we mentioned a few weeks ago, we were doing a live analysis here, I believe. And then we said, if it rallies at the top up there, then this is going to drop. And it did. If some of you were in that live webinar, you will remember that. The same way that others have remembered about brand, about Disney, about Tesla, about Baba, about all this. They are playing out as expected. Okay? So buying spot gold in the middle of a dump is not a good idea. Obviously, in short term, intraday, you scalp gold, you will be able to buy the 5-minute and the 1-minute charts. I'm not doing that. Okay, if you want to do that, if you want that the balls to do it, go ahead, my friend. I don't have them, so it's very simple. I prefer to have a life. So this is what we have on gold. Okay, so gold is already covered. So somebody else asked me to analyze another one, Swiss franc, gold, euro, dollar, NASDAQ. Okay, no problem. Then pound CAD. This is another of the majors. We were talking about shorts on this one the last time. Okay, I don't know if you remember. Okay, we were talking about these supply levels in the 4-hour. Okay, right there, and the pound CAD has been dropping as expected. Okay, but what happened? This is what happened. We've got a very strong demand level on the 4-hour. Look at this. When you zoom out, okay, I remember about this level here on the website. It wasn't called on a webinar, but it was on the website. So what happens? Look at the strong rally here. Doesn't it look like this one? Okay. Pound CAD, British pound versus Canadian dollar. It's rallying very strongly. It's trying to react to this level. If we take a look at the daily time frame, then we also have on the way down those 4-hour levels, and now we have this demand level right there in control with the 4-hour. So that this is why the pound CAD, the British pound versus the Canadian dollar, Forex cross pair is rallying. For now, it's looking good. So if the one who suggested this one is long, we should manage this position because it could rally higher. The levels are tested on the smaller time frame, so it could continue to rally easily. But the bigger picture and strong bullish price action, etc. So, well, we'll see if it continues to rally. This is the pound CAD. Okay, so another one done. So I believe I am done with the suggestions unless you have something else. I believe we were talking about the EuroCAD, another analysis, and the why is the EuroCAD dropping? Well, because we have this weekly supply level right there. So this is like the euro dollar. So it continued to rally. There was no signs of bearishness 2 weeks ago, as said, and then now we have it. So we have price dropping like this for now on the EuroCAD. When we take a look at this smaller time frames, okay, let me remove this big one. So we've got that supply level on the 4-hour. That was not pulled back, unfortunately. Another one here, no pullback. So as long if you don't go to even smaller time frames, you're not going to catch the move unless you got it on the weekly. Okay, so because it's reacting too quickly, the EuroCAD. And this is the EuroCAD. And I also shared before the pound versus the New Zealand dollar, also on TradingView, my TradingView account. I was talking about this one. And let's go to the weekly time frame because we had that guy over here. So it was on my hi, Alfonso, could you please explain the Hawk scenario? That's Hawk is Harley Davidson, isn't it? A strange name for that company. I always wonder who H from Harley, but OG, I have no idea why they chose that simple name for Harley Davidson motorbikes. So what happens? I believe I had like let me see because my ideas it should be here. Let me see on TradingView. I shared this on TradingView, I think also on another webinar. Okay, here, this is, you see, the pound prior to another one. So when I play that scenario, it's playing out really well. So we're dropping very strongly with the Kiwi rallying. So Kiwi rallying is like getting stronger than New Zealand dollar. So the pound versus the New Zealand dollar is just dropping as expected. Okay. So what happens in the smaller time frames? When we take a look at the 4-hour, okay, we've got a level right at the top, okay, but there was no pullback. And we've got another one over here, and it didn't pull back yet. So in the smaller time frames for shorter term, we've got these levels on the 4-hour. You can look at the 1-hour too, but that's too short for me, so I'm not gonna take a look at it. I mean, this is very bad, okay? This is going to be eliminated, it's going to continue higher. So this is a 4-hour, okay? So this is dropping. This Forex cross pair is one of the majors. So dropping as expected because of that weekly supply level, which is also available in the euro dollar, is also available on the EuroCAD, the euro versus the Canadian dollar. Okay, okay, as we explained before. So all of them are highly correlated also on the euro dollar, as we said before. The euro dollar, euro versus the Canadian dollar Forex cross pair, and the euro versus the Kiwi dollar too, and the pound versus the Kiwi dollar, all of them have supply levels in control, okay, and they are dropping as expected, okay? So let's take a look at these American stock, Harley Davidson's, which is Hawk, at the last time I checked was rallying. So let's see what happened. Wow, oh my God. So the thing is this, buying right now, no way. Why? Well, we got supply level on the weekly, but it's not because of that. Okay? It's not because of that. It's because once we see price rallying so strongly on any given time frame, price action is everything. Okay? Is everything. It's the only non-lagging indicator that exists. Price action. It's very simple. Okay? CCI, RSI, Bollinger Bands, EMA crosses, MACD, crossovers, that's not telling you where price is going, okay? That's telling you where price has gone after the fact, okay? Price action doesn't lie. So what do we have here? We've got a demand level right there. So why is it not good to buy? Well, look at this. Let's analyze price action, okay? And then I'm going to put all this into the bigger picture stock context. And then I'm going to analyze hello, Han Hat Watch. I don't know how to pronounce their name, my friend. And Hat Watch. That's too strange. I almost bit my tongue trying to pronounce it. So I'm going to, the Aussie versus New Zealand dollar, I'm trying to get into the 4-hour demand. Okay, I'm going to look at it after this. I am now into this one, okay? The Harley Davidson. So look at price action alone, okay? A strong candlestick, okay? Even a stronger and wider candlestick body. Though we have the next one, even wider candlestick body, isn't it? What about this one? A smaller candlestick body. What about this one? More or less the same size. So what do you think is going to happen? So what happens here is that we can see now price action with the candlestick bodies reducing its body size little by little because this is what we are expecting. Can this happen? Of course. Anything can happen. But I do know that if this is the highest probability setup, I'm not going to buy shares or CFDs or Harley Davidson stock right now. No way. Okay. So it's as simple as that. So what do I need to do? Probably I would need to wait for some weeks. There are many other stocks: Disney, Baba, Microsoft, Meta Platforms, Tesla, Walmart. We call a trade on Walmart on the 4-hour a couple of days ago, a few days ago here on the weekly, played out. Okay. And then on the 4-hour, we call this 4-hour demand level here, which is playing out really well. Okay. Look at that. That was on the community, not on Forex, on the YouTube channel. It's here. When we go here. I'm gonna take a look at it. So Walmart. So let's go here. So you can see all the updates. Okay. The demand level. Sorry, 4-hour demand. The daily demand level. Blah 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 blah. The 4-hour Walmart. Come on, Alfonso. Weekly. Da, 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 and then here. 4-hour demand level on April 9th. 4-hour demand level takes control. 4-hour demand level trying to play out April 16th. Okay. Demand level playing out last Thursday. Okay. On Monday, this Monday, it's already playing out. I mean, almost 3 times the risk. Next today, well, yesterday, it hit 3 times the risk, 3x. Reward risk 3 to 1. Today, I will say, okay, if you are long on this one, you could manage the position, set it in stop loss there, lock in like 2.5 reward risk. And this could be a new demand level, not yet. Okay. So this is how it goes. Okay. If I still do meetups like Tenerife with members, I'm going to start doing it again this year. Okay. I'm going to do one probably here where I live in Malaga. I'm planning to do another meetup also in London again, probably Singapore again. So, and Tenerife is nice, but probably I will do it better first in Malaga, where I live, which is very well communicated. It's an international airport in the south of Spain. So I'm going to start doing that again, okay? Meetups and workshops, and we're going to go live with all this, okay? So if you want more information, just send me an email, anyone here, okay? And okay, there it is. So this is Walmart, okay? So if you take a look at Walmart, look at this, strong reaction. So what are you gonna do after this rally? So you start buying like the 5-minute and the 1-minute charts? Come on, my friend. No way, you have to wait. Oh, wow, but I need to wait for 2 days. Oh my God, I'm going to have to shoot myself in the forehead. I have to wait 2 days. What do I do with my life? Come on. You just need to wait, okay? That's it. That's it. So let me go back because start talking about this. Okay, oxygen, Australian dollar versus the New Zealand dollar cross pair. Okay, so you are trying to get on the 4 hour. I guess you are referring to this one over here, my friend. I guess. Can you confirm this is the one, Ash Abu Maker? That's the one. Okay, we've got a supply level right at the top, and this is the 4 hour down there. So what do we have on the Australian dollar? So what do we have here? We have this. One sec. We talked about this level a long time ago, okay, on the Australian dollar versus the New Zealand dollar, the Forex cross pair, and then it played out really well, okay? It was like this, really well. So what do we have now? We've got another demand level, which is also a 4 hour demand level. So price is heading south on the Australian dollar cross pair versus the New Zealand dollar, trying to reach this level from which we are expecting a reaction, okay? That's what we are expecting on the Australian dollar versus the New Zealand dollar Forex cross pair. Okay, so as you can see, I mean, it's all about waiting, isn't it? Waiting. But if you are not like patient enough, then what is going to happen? Oh my God, the Australian dollar is rallying. I'm going to do breakout trading. You lose. Okay, it's rallying. I missed this trade. I'm going to buy. You lose. I mean, it doesn't work like that, okay? After strong rally, if this is an imbalance on the 4 hour and everything, then okay, let's wait. Okay, but if this Forex cross pair, which is one of the major ones, okay, it's going to do this, okay, because we've got the 4 hour supply level there in control. It's dropping as suspected, but this is going against the trend, okay? This is not going against the trend. This is with trading with the trend, Forex with the trend, and counter trend Forex trading. They are completely different things. Like I said in previous live webinars, and I will say the same thing. If you are a man, you want to flirt with women. If you are a woman, you want to flirt with men. So if I want to buy because the Australian dollar is bullish, is in an uptrend, the bigger picture, why should I go with another man if I am a man? No way. So that's counter trend with for me. Counter to trading is like going against my sexual nature as a male, okay, as an heterosexual male. So by having that in mind, it's sort of like I'm playing tricks with my mind, telling my mind that I shouldn't go short, okay? And why would you go short? Look at this, 4 hour high, another high, another high, another high. It's gonna break and then drops. Oh, okay, I should have taken this one because it dropped. No, okay? We should not say, okay, this is a counter trend strategy because this supply level on the 4 hour on this Forex cross pair dropped and it played out. Well, it played out after the fact, okay? And remember, I'm not doing any after the fact trading. I'm saying if we want to do something, it's just buying down there. I'm not going to sell on the way down, even though I expect this to happen. I don't care. I don't care, okay? So this is the Australian dollar versus the New Zealand, okay? Both in the south hemisphere of the continent. So they are very active during the Forex Asian session. And so any other, I mean, because I believe all the suggestions are gone. So let me take a look at the BTC because BTC, the monthly demand level on the this 4 hour demand level that was not pulled back here. Okay, that was not pulled back here on the 4 hour. And there is another demand level right there on the 4 hour on Bitcoin. And why is Bitcoin rallying as like this? Okay, so well, we talked about it. If you rewind a few weeks ago in some of the videos, cryptocurrency videos I have recorded, okay, I was talking about this. Let me delete all this, which is awful from. I was talking about this monthly demand level. And I was saying that Bitcoin is bound to do that, okay? And that is exactly what is going on right now. Okay. So it's all about imbalances. So Bitcoin dropped down there and now it's rallying strongly, creating on the way up new imbalances like this one here in the 4-hour, which is located at around 76,250, around that area. Okay. So it dropped here, it didn't drop there. We'll see if it drops down there. This is Bitcoin cryptocurrency, which is right now bullish in the first quarter of 2026. Okay, because the monthly demand level, strong level, has gained control, and we are expecting all this. Okay, so obviously this is dragging other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum. Okay, and Ethereum, well, this is like, I don't know why I have those things drawn there. So it's trying to rally up there with the monthly supply level. So we've got probably in the 4-hour again, this level we mentioned in the last analysis, I believe. And then we've got another one here at around on Ethereum ETH at around 2,333. That's the next place. Okay. So let's see what happens with Ethereum and Bitcoin. I'm just going to analyze these two major cryptocurrencies because there are thousands of them. Okay. So two are more than enough for now. Okay. So let's take a look at another one. A guy here at HHML asked about INSM. That's probably stock Insmed Corporated in NASDAQ exchange. We'll see. That's 4-hour. That tells us nothing. So let's take a look at the weekly. Nothing. Monthly. Nothing. Demand level in control, yes. But no, I'm not buying there. No way. This is what we are expecting on this particular stock. We are expecting price to drop down there. So buying right now in the middle of a dump, no way. Yeah, big. So basically, counter trend trading is gay. Yeah, that's the perfect definition of counter trend, my friend. That's how I see it. I mean, without disrespecting any gay in the world, okay? Lesbians are too. Okay, I don't care. Everyone has the right to have their own sexual life. As long as there is love, no problem with that, my friend. As long as you don't fuck with me, I'm okay with it. So, so what happens here? So this talk is like not a good one. Okay, I'm sorry if the words I'm saying are might. I'm not offending anyone. Okay, we Spanish, we talk a lot with slang. We say lots of son of a bitch, a mother, all the time. I mean, every 5 words we coin one of these words. It's the way we talk. Okay, we are not angry. We're nothing like that, but we talk like that. Okay, probably it's because of our Muslim Arab inheritance. We were conquered by Arabs like for 710 years. So I believe we have many things in common. So with my Muslim brothers, okay, I have anything against any religion or anybody has the right to do whatever they want with their lives as long as they don't fuck me. So so this is what we are expecting here. Okay, so buying at the top doesn't make sense. So the monthly demand level here, okay, it's try to rally, but it's in the middle of a dump, imprinting a new low, and now we're expecting a new low. Can it reverse from here? Anything can happen in this world, even without, I mean, except one thing, me becoming gay. So this is what's going to happen. INSM, okay? So we'll see what happens in a few months, but we need to wait. So what do you do now? Nothing, nothing. You just forget about this. This is not a good one. Tesla is a good one. Alibaba is a good one. Microsoft is a good one. Meta is a good one. Disney, Harley Davidson. We were talking about Harley Davidson and then we forgot about something. I didn't end my analysis. Oh my God. So we're talking about these weekly demand level, not buying there, but buying there, yes, because we have this demand level on the quarterly time frame. So, but we need to wait for now, okay? This is Harley Davidson. I can see that many of you are like laughing. Why? Okay, because you are men and you like these silly things I'm saying. It's just, I grabbed your attention. Okay, good. So Ash Abu Dhabi, Baker, Netflix is a nice weekly demand level, but it is not trending. So Netflix, weekly demand level down there, but here, nothing. So yeah, anything else but that. So Netflix has got that demand level very strong, but it never pulled back down there. And now it's just dropping again. On the monthly time frame, Netflix is got a monthly supply level right there at the top. So look at the price action in the monthly. Can anybody tell me what is the name of this candlestick right now, more or less? Okay, so this one here, if you see this candlestick over here, okay, on the monthly time frame, do you think you should buy on the daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, or anything? No, you shouldn't. Okay, but obviously you are a forex, sorry, a stocks intraday trader. You are scalping stocks, and then you go to the 1 hour time frame. Okay, and then you say, okay, now we've got the EMA like this, cross down, and now maybe it's going to cross up, and then I'm going to buy until up there where there is a huge supply level, cost buy. Look at this. This is nice. Yeah, pin bar, a shooting star, like Oslex said. I mean, the monthly is right now, for now, if the monthly closes like that, more or less it's a shooting star. So what do we have here? Another thing happened here. Earnings releases in stocks, stock fundamental analysis. Okay, what happens here? Look at this. Tell me if it makes sense. Okay, earnings and revenue. We've got a positive, okay, a surprise of in estimated, standardized and reported, we've got a 61%, okay? That's positive. If we've got a very positive earnings, revenue on Netflix, what do you think is going to happen with the stock? Shouldn't it rally? Because it's very positive and the whole market is, oh, wow, I want another season of Stranger Things. I want the 10th season. Because why did you end this the season, that series? No, I want another one. So what happens? Positive news, and then the stock rallies, drops 10%. So does it make sense to you? So when I always say earnings releases, forget about them. No fucking way. I mean, I am forgetting about them. Yes, of course, because it doesn't make sense. Why is Netflix dropping like a rock if there was a positive news? So it doesn't make sense. So news is not affecting price. News obviously moves the markets, creates volatility, imbalances too. But when there is a bigger picture demand level or anything in control, negative news will produce a rally and positive news will produce also a rally. It doesn't matter. I mean, everything is priced in. All the big boys already know that information. So on Netflix, at the top supply, and now buying here is not a good idea, although probably this is going to happen because the gap has to be filled on the 1 hour chart, and Netflix should rally there, and from there probably drop again where the bearish gap was created. But this is not a textbook setup, say like the ones we saw on Tesla, Microsoft, Meta Platforms, Alibaba, euro dollar, euro cat, pound versus the Kiwi dollar. I mean, those were like great. This one is not, because not only that, I mean, the weekly is not trending. So this is not a good idea. Okay. So Netflix, if I had to decide anything about Netflix stock, I would do nothing. Obviously, okay, Netflix is the only trade, is the only asset, the only stock I trade. Okay, obviously you will have to go to the very small time frames, even trade the tick chart if you want to. Okay. Okay, a good top professionals singing your praises to my Nigerian brothers. Thank you, my friend. So news never Those I have learned that's firsthand from Mr. Moreno. Thank you. I mean, that's all these rules, all these imbalances are drawn and called in these live webinars and also at Settle Forget Online training community, okay, without or disregarding news analysis, earnings, fundamental analysis, FOMC, Mr. Trump saying one of those crazy things that are useless, Elon Musk scratching his balls. It doesn't matter, my friend. Doesn't matter. It just, if he has to rally, it's because there are people interested here, and that's it. Okay. Could you do a webinar on just pure price action? Just asking. Yeah, I could do that. No problem. Maybe next week I'm going to do that. So price action is critical, but it's critical because we need to put price action into context. Price action without context is useless. The same way that the shooting star we saw before, remember on the euro dollar, we looked at the daily. So when we see a shooting star, okay, is it at the right location? Yes. Why? Because we have the weekly supply level and the weekly in the downtrend. Okay, not only that, you know that already. We've got the 3-month supply level in control on, this, on the euro dollar. So you need to know what is going on in the bigger picture. Otherwise, the price action, the candlestick patterns, Japanese candlestick patterns are useless. Useless. Okay? So you see a beautiful woman in a pub, you are single, oh wow, that's crazy, so beautiful, okay? But if you are in Bali or Thailand or the Philippines, that woman could be a ladyboy and a transsexual. So are you going with them? Well, up to you, okay? So you need to pay attention to location. So is that woman located in Bali, Thailand, or these Asian countries? Then you have to check it, my friend, because you could have a very, very interesting surprise. And like I said before, I have nothing against anyone, okay? As long as they don't fuck me. So, Agush Med, PS, people are impersonating you, adding people to a private WhatsApp group, chat, and probably defrauding them. Hopefully you will report these accounts. I don't know which accounts are they. So if you can send me an email with the accounts, I might report it. I even was invited myself in my private Instagram account by myself, some guy with another Instagram account. They are copying my setups and everything. So these guys are just scammers, obviously. I will never do that. Okay. How do I deal with large monthly demand levels? I just trade them, my friend. You can use options, or then you wait for a smaller time frame setups. That's how it works. The euro dollar, we saw that one already. So sorry if anyone sees any request from me for joining a WhatsApp or Telegram group. That's not me. I never ever had a Telegram or WhatsApp group, and I will never have it. Okay, why? Because I don't think that trading is about chatting on Telegram or WhatsApp. Okay, because you will start chatting and about anything, about women, about men, about crazy things, except sending emoticons and memes about Trump, Elon, or a woman doing this and doing that, and then you will stop trading. So trading is a professional. It's not a hobby. It's a profession. Okay, and you need to treat it professionally. Otherwise, you're going to get the amateur results. So that's it. Okay. So we saw the euro dollar, the euro kiwi, forex cross pair, the euro cad, the pound kiwi, etc., etc. Then kiwi versus the Japanese yen. We saw lots of stocks. We have like 4 minutes left for this webinar. So anything else you want me to? We'll saw Bitcoin, Ethereum, Baba, Harley Davidson, HOG, stock, so many things, ISNM, no trade, Netflix, no trade, remember? So how do I deal with the bigger demand zone or supply zones, like you said, Ahmed? So it's like this, you see the weekly, this is as large as the monthly. So you go to smaller times and you start looking for new setups. You go even to the 1 hour if you want and start looking for setups. There was one here, but I'm not trading the 1 hour. So that's how it goes, okay? And the last one, okay, the Kiwi dollar, this is going to be the last one. The Kiwi dollar should be rallying. Why? Well, because the Kiwi, New Zealand dollar forex cross pair, this is one of the major cross pairs. is getting very strong across the board. Remember the euro, Kiwi dollar, and the pound Kiwi dropping. So if we got the pound Kiwi dropping from the supply level, it means that also the Kiwi, for some reason, is getting weak, stronger. Okay, so the New Zealand dollar cross pair is great for short-term intraday and scalping and swing trading for sure. So what's going on the Kiwi dollar? On the Kiwi dollar, this is what we have. That's the 1 hour, so I'm not interested in this one. Okay, very bad price action here. Blah 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 blah. So let's take a look at the daily. Okay, this is what we have. This is what we have on the Kiwi dollar, the daily demand level, which I believe, let me check it out here on the website, because I track every stock, every pair. So let's go here, if I share this one or not. Yeah, there it is. On Friday, I said long here, and then it just rallied, and this supply level in the 4 hour might be eliminated already. Probably. Let me check the 4 hour. Well, still there, I think, but it's going to be eliminated. So this is going to be eliminated. We have long bias on the New Zealand dollar versus the Canadian dollar. Okay, it's long. Price action wise, this is a very strong bullish price action here, and even stronger than at the bottom. It didn't react, and then price is rallying strongly. The same is happening with other Kiwi or New Zealand cross pairs. So the problem with lower time frames is that price doesn't return to the origin of the move within large demand zones. That's not true, my friend. It also happens on the smaller time frames. I could show you many examples, but it's not a good idea to focus on the smaller time frames. Okay, if you have plenty of time and a life to kill, no problem. But I prefer the bigger time frames instead of the lower time frames, because the bigger time frames is where the big institutions and the professional traders are placing the trades, even though they might not even know that they are creating these imbalances. Okay, but they create these imbalances. Okay, so the Kiwi dollar is rallying. Okay, and it's an extra. This is the New Zealand dollar versus the Canadian dollar. It just didn't pull back here. So this is it. Okay, I don't think he can check the 12-hour chart due to it being in a different fractal sequence. No, I'm not doing that. No way. Why shouldn't I check the 12 hours and 15 seconds with 3 nanoseconds? I mean, it doesn't make sense. The daily makes sense. Every day there's a new candlestick. The weekly, every week. Okay, 4 hour, it's like, because the markets are open for 8 hours each session, so 2 4-hour candles. So 1 hour candle, 24 hours. So those make sense. But 12 hours, half a day, nobody wants 12 hours. Okay, so obviously you will see patterns in the 12 hours chart. Okay, but those are not logical fractals. The fractality of price doesn't use the 12-hour charts or the 5 hours or the 7.5. Okay, it's 1 hour, 4 hour because of the market constitution. Okay, the daily, a day, a week, a month, a quarter, a year. It's very simple. You want to add strange time frames? Up to you, my friend. Up to you. Okay, good. I think we are done for today.